You know, some people age like a fine wine, and some people age like a can of special brew left on a hot windowsill. Whichever one you are, get ready to talk about those pesky little emotions of yours, because it's time for another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. Please welcome your host, Sam Lake. It was me the whole time. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. Hope you like the sofa, and now we have things to put the mics on, so now we're hands-free, so the guests can do whatever they like with them.
I should have taken my knitting.
And today's guest, you might be more familiar with her accosting me on several ScotRail trains. It's Marjolein Robertson.
Hi, it's so weird to be stationary with you.
Isn't it weird?
Where are we going?
Normally we're moving at 100 kilometres an hour.
Is that how fast a train goes?
Probably faster or slower.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
I need it in miles.
I can't believe that ScotRail hasn't plucked up the courage to give us a brand sponsorship deal.
I still have more staff time videos, and I've got so many videos of us on my phone, like actually chalk blocking up, that I would like to edit.
There is such a thing as quantity over quality, I think.
Everything we do is amazing.
It's true. Everything we do is amazing and huge, large.
Bigger than...
I really wanted us to do... There was a train ride that was in the news that I think went to Oban, and it's the coldest train ride, so cold that people take sleeping bags.
Can you imagine how hot it would be if we were there? People would be stripping off.
Yeah, it would be a horny old carriage.
Do you like my t-shirt? I got a new t-shirt.
You said you wore this especially for today.
Yes.
Also, it's very fun. Where did you get it?
Well, I was walking past a shop in Leith, and there was t-shirts in the window that said, what was it? Take heroin, drink champagne. No, it was Coke. Sorry, I was just thinking because it's Leith.
Sorry, can I just write that down? Take the heroin.
Drink the champagne.
Great.
It was take Coke, drink champagne. And I went and I was like, that one, please. And he's like, no, we've got none left. I was like, what about the one in the window? And he's like, no, that's what gets people inside the shop. And then that was the outside display, was this t-shirt. And inside the shop was just t-shirts like this and old lady clothes.
But I feel like the bedazzling of it makes it not old lady.
I couldn't get the label off. I think it's still there. Oh,
there you go, yeah.
It's bought for stage wear.
Chanel? No, it's... I mean, there isn't a brand name. Maggie.
Maggie spelled wrong. So this is my new stage wear.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Is this going to be in the new show, or is that a different outfit?
I'm not sure yet, but I was just like, this kitten surrounded by feathers. What has it killed?
A pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
A dirty whore of a pigeon.
Do you not like that? I heard you
Hate
and Liam
pigeons.
talking about pigeons. So I listen to this podcast because I'm a true friend.
Did we talk about pigeons on this podcast? Oh, maybe we did.
You asked Liam if he liked them or not, and he slagged them off, and I felt that's a shame.
He did, and he is correct.
Yes. But it's really sad because of that history.
Of?
Liam jilted a pigeon at the altar.
What?
No,
Liam married a pigeon.
He jilted a pigeon.
Jilted a pigeon.
And like, I've had a real human, actually.
It's like he's here.
Don't clip that. I'm on my last straw of friendship with the boy. No, pigeons used to be... The reason they're just so about the streets and about our feet... You know.
Because of the war? I really thought it was going to come to me, and it didn't. The war, the pigeony war. Why? No, there's a reason. Were they domesticated?
Yes, they're a
Yeah.
domesticated animal, because carrier pigeons and messenger pigeons.
Yeah, but...
And now they're just like, they don't know how to survive by eating our leftovers.
Then the pigeons unionised. And they were like, we're not going to keep carrying your messages around if you don't give us, like, I don't know, access to the NHS.
Do you think they find out about the first mobile phones and they're like, we could be charging 11p for 30 characters? That's 12p for the first 3, and then it goes down to 9. Weekends are free.
Do you still use...
Leave me alone.
I thought it was weird that you were just telling me about this great new song called The Crazy Frog.
Oh my God. I can't remember the words.
Stop it. We're being silly. I'm very glad that you're here, and you chose a very decadent drink. A real hefty one.
Oh, I love it.
Do you want to tell everyone what you chose?
I picked 5 men inside of me.
Okay.
The other day I had 2 in one day. I was like, I've been with 10 men.
So it's 5 guys.
Oh.
The restaurant. And from 5 guys, we ordered in especially for you a big old cup of cum.
No, did I tell you about me getting scared gay the other day? Did I tell you about this?
No, did it happen in 5 guys?
This might be too much for the podcast.
You got scared gay?
As in,
you got scared into being gay?
Into women more.
Oh.
Well, I like everything, but it was just, I learned what cum was made of, and I was like...
Because people so rarely listen to the bonus track from the Lizzie McGuire movie, Hey Now, This Is What Semen Is Made Of. And it's strange because it's a real banger. What was it in semen that made... What was unpleasant? It's usually so lovely.
I realised it's like mostly composed of mucus.
Pee?
No, mucus.
It's like there's the actual
Everyone looks
swimmers.
sad.
Well, because normally when you talk about semen, it brightens up a room.
It does. Some laugh boys be like, the clips will make from this.
Oh my God, they would dare each other to like, I don't know what I was about to say. No. Most of it is just like carrying fluid. So it's genetically very similar to urine.
A woman's cum is plasma, which is like blood, which is the coolest thing I've ever heard. When are we not bleeding down there? That's why. Okay, let's move on.
You said it. When are those women not bloody bleeding? God.
Just like bleeding all over the floor. Oh, that's my no, let's stop.
The thing is,
I've ruined your
I
podcast.
know
I'm so
you're
sorry.
making this up, but also I don't know enough about the female reproductive system to call you out on it.
I had trouble yesterday in my work in progress trying to remember what any of the parts of my own organs are called. And I said some things and people laughed and they thought it was a bit, but it was me genuinely trying to describe my
What could
own
you not
anatomy.
remember?
What the wall is called in there.
What wall? The
one that they took down in 89 of Hasselhoff.
The Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall. David Hasselhoff
No, the one you see
tore
from
up your wall.
Space, the Great Wall of China. No, so the Wall of the North. No, so so it keeps the wildlings out.
Okay.
When you've got your bit where the baby's grown.
The womb.
Right, but is it also what? So what's the uterus? Can we edit this out? You don't have to. You can keep it in. I should know this.
People have been messaging and saying,
know.
like, Sam, can you please educate us about all of the different parts of a woman?
You know what? Come see me in the Fringe. Plug. Shameless
Leave
plug.
a comment.
And then
What do you think a womb is? And what is a uterus?
I think it's a room said by someone.
And why
with a
do you
lisp.
think they're disgusting? If you're willing to leave a comment on a video, you're probably the type of person to do that.
Oh my God.
So, a milkshake. Was there a particular reason why you chose a milkshake?
It was a milkshake at any
Oh,
point in
sorry.
the conversation. I just
There's some people being like, well, I can't believe it really is a big old cup of cum. No. So originally the request was a pistachio milkshake.
Yes.
And then I got to Five Guys and discovered they do not do that flavour.
So they do it in London. I guess I've been to London.
Oh, have you? Oh,
And then I had to
that's
come
nice.
home.
Have you been to M&M World?
No.
Oh, it's a bit rubbish.
I want to go to the secret cocktail bar that Stuart Laws went to.
I was just going to say that you can go to M&M World and have your name printed on M&Ms and then just realise it would be pointless for you because it's just an M and it's already there.
But that's an initial, that's a lie. So how much of Marjolein would they get on it?
But I don't know. There's only one way to find out.
M&M Worlds, no, I don't want to go.
Okay. Nobody's making you. I'm not forcing you to.
I've never liked those men. You know, the M&M men. I'm nothing. This is not a bit, this is not material, this is just something
You don't
that
like the
I've
M&M
always
men.
found incredibly creepy.
Yeah, they
I'll
are.
be like, 5 men.
What do you think about the one that has high heels, so she's a lady, so that's the fuckable
she's
one?
good, the green one.
I think it's the green. I think the
she's
brown
hot.
one is also a lady.
Hot.
Hot. Wood. 3-way. I'll just explain for anyone listening to the podcast. Marjoleine's lip started to quiver, and I'm not sure if she was excited or horrified by what I just said.
I don't want to imagine this, Sam.
Okay. You don't want to imagine it.
Such
It
a
is
powerful imagination. Like what you
it
think
is
is a
literally
funny
in an advert.
question is like, well, yeah, but the weirdest thing is she just starts eating him.
Yeah. Have you never had sex with a man and then thought you're useless for anything else? I'll just eat you.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it on the telly.
No. No, that's when your sitcom comes out. Man eater. That's actually a great idea.
It'll be like
Let's do the
2 p.m. in
treatment.
the afternoon on ITV, like Crossroads or something.
That's where all the best TV is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a milkshake. Milkshake was the request. Didn't have that flavour. They have it in London. So instead, you and I have a peanut butter milkshake,
Yes.
which you very interestingly said most calorific on the menu.
So peanut butter milkshake is my go-to, and then I'm filming my special next Tuesday. So I was like, I just wanted to not like splurge too much for the week up to the filming of it. So I was like, I'll be healthy and go for pistachio, which is like a third of the calories, and it's tasty.
Is it?
Yeah, and I quite like pistachios.
I
They're
like
having
it
a
too.
moment in the sun right now.
Pistachio is having a moment. I'll agree with you that you can get some croissants from some Pretz that have got pistachio cream.
And you get pistachio coffee in a lot of cafes now.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, you can at Cafe Nero. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like the pistachio shake.
Peanut butter.
But peanut butter is my favorite food of all time.
Is it?
Yeah. I would go with anyone but someone with a peanut allergy.
Interesting.
I just realised how hefty a statement that is.
Peanut butter is very popular among bodybuilders.
Protein heavy?
Yeah. If you're trying to get in like a calorie surplus and you're doing it like in a dirty way, you can eat lots of...
Yeah, it's like, you just like...
I
was
don't know
thinking of
what you were
suppository
thinking.
injection of food. And
By
I
a
was like,
dirty way, I mean having a three-way with some of the M&M people.
I'm dying. I feel like I'm ruining your podcast, Sam.
No.
Okay.
You're not making it better, but you're not ruining it. I'm kidding.
Might be a leggy touched.
'Cause the listeners could hear like a little slap as well.
You've
I
got
was
to slap me on
excited
the
to do it.
face.
I'm not going to do
Okay.
that.
Never mind, listeners. You
Not
don't
with the
need to know that
cameras
story.
on. Is there anything... How does a milkshake make you feel? Because it's a heavy old... Some people I've gone to like Five Guys with in the past wouldn't have any of the food, would just have a milkshake if they want a milkshake. And they'd be like, it's like a meal.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sometimes because every time I go to I hardly ever go to Five Guys, so it's a treat for me because it's so expensive. It's so expensive. I go there like once in a blue moon,
It's pricey.
and every time I go there, I'm like, it's how much for a burger?
A lot.
Yeah. So then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna buy fries like tatties for £6 is nuts. The fries like £4 or £6.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, fine, I'll just get a burger and a milkshake because it's
It's
more
fun.
filling than the burger.
And also with the fries, even if you get the littlest size, they bring your bag over to where the fries are, scoop them into the tiny little cup, and then just dump the cup in there, and then just put some fries in the bag.
Yeah, there's a medium every time.
Yeah.
There's a medium every time I watch that.
Yeah. So do you have any emotional feelings when you have a milkshake? Does the heaviness make you feel, I don't know, comforted?
It
Does
is a
make you feel-
comforting drink.
It is.
I drink a lot of smoothies. I do a lot of protein shakes.
Same. I've recently whipped out the old Ninja. Yeah.
I'm back to a NutriBullet.
Used to have a NutriBullet.
Yeah.
David made a splurge, get a Ninja foodie.
We have a Ninja foodie actually in the kitchen as well, but no one's used. You know when it's new and not been used yet, so everyone's too afraid because it's. still
They're
pristine.
intimidating.
Yeah.
They're very intimidating. But I've gotten into putting my protein powder in with some fruit and some apple juice.
That's what I do. Protein powder, banana, fruit, and maybe like celery or some kind of veg as well.
You try and get a green in there.
Yeah.
That's good. I tried putting spinach in it and it just made me go, "Eh."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Try celery. But yeah, I always put peanut butter in it too, and I was like, no, today I won't, just in case
Just in case.
I have a peanut butter smoothie. And then I eat peanut butter on toast instead of having a smoothie.
You really do love peanut butter then?
God, I'm obsessed with
Peanut butter M&Ms?
Look,
I don't know why I keep taking it back to M&M's.
this is a thing that people find weird, and I don't want to spend too much time on this. But if I'm eating some kind of chocolatey treat,
Yeah.
and there's more than one thing going on inside of it, I can't handle it.
Really?
I don't like it. So like a Bounty's great, a Crunchy's great.
Oh, so
But if it's like a Snickers, it's distressing and there's too much going on.
You can't handle nuts, you can't handle caramel, you can't handle nougat altogether.
No, and I also don't like nougat, caramel, or fudge. So that on its own would be a bad thing. But when there's
Okay.
a blend of things, it's even more
Even if it
discomforting.
was like a trio of things that you actually quite enjoy.
Yeah. Well, the only time I'll have more than one filling in something and enjoy it is a
Wondering where this is going.
Ferrero Rocher.
Okay.
That's very fancy.
Yeah, that is fancy. That is fancy. I went to a Ferrero Rocher tasting experience once. It was in London.
It's not here yet.
I went with...
Coming up in a taxi with the pistachios.
it was a gift for a friend. 3 of us all went, and they like take all of the ingredients of Ferrero Rocher and then reassemble them into lots of different puddings. It was great. You got a glass of Prosecco as well.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think it was for like the Ferrero Rocher anniversary or something. I don't know.
That sounds amazing.
It really was. You should have been there.
Yeah.
Can't go anymore.
No.
Doesn't exist.
We weren't friends then? When did we become friends?
2021, I guess. That's how long I've been here.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And then I asked you, I remember bringing you onto stage once and having to ask how to pronounce your name, and you said it's Mario, like Mario Kart. Lane, like Lane. Elaine.
When was it? Was that Monkey Bar?
Yeah, I think so.
I actually can't remember our first interaction. That makes me sad because I normally can. But I think I knew of you before I met you because I'd always hear stories about you. And I'd be like, why isn't the person who's never met me and I don't know not invited me to the Eurovision party?
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Eurovision. And everyone's going but me. How dare this person I've never met not invite me?
Oh. Well, if it makes you feel better, there isn't a party this year.
Are you boycotting it too?
Yeah.
That's nuts. Because
Yeah.
I thought me boycotting is bad, but you boycotting it is like, how is this not ended the conflict?
I know, that's
Sorry,
like...
maybe we should edit.
Nothing gets edited out. We stand in our truth and we keep it raw.
Oh, jeez, oh.
Yeah, I know. Me boycotting Eurovision, it's like, I don't know, it's like the Pope.
What has the Pope not done?
Not
Stop it, Marjolein.
not riding around in the Pope-mobile. Do you remember the Pope-mobile?
Oh, it's like him cycling a bit.
Yeah, it'd be like the Pope and rollerblades.
Yeah.
You'd look at that and be like, don't see that every day. Speaking of things that I don't see every day. Yeah, it's not a great segue, but we'll have to deal with it. Let's move on to your subject. I mean, we haven't actually had any of the milkshakes.
Please, I'm just
should we have a
gagging
little
for
suck
it.
on camera?
That's not meant to be an entendre. I'm just really thirsty today.
I'm sorry for not getting you cream. I didn't know your cream preference.
No, I don't like cream. I should have said no cream.
Producer Claire was angry because she does like a cream.
I wasn't angry.
You weren't?
But you
weren't
scared?
thrilled.
Was she very shouty and you got scared?
No, she's lovely.
She like... Oh, cheers.
What, are we cheersing the rim or the tip?
To rim and the tip.
Yeah.
So I am. Do you want to know the Shetland cheers? Mm-hmm. It's Skål de Hinderkwaaf.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it means drink that up. Skål de Hinderkwaaf.
Skål de Hinder Craft. No?
I'll allow it. It's so good. It's like, I don't normally like a blend of sweet and savoury, but this, yes.
It's funny because peanut butter is savoury. I wouldn't have thought of it unless you said it. Are you going to have the whole thing in one go?
No. It's so good.
It's delightful. You carry on sucking, and I'll... Oh, I've got to stop saying that.
They say every night.
Let's talk about your topic.
It's the best day of my life. Sam, this and what we're about to talk about.
You chose Lord of the Rings.
Yes. No, I've watched your podcast more than once.
Yeah.
Was I meant to pick something that makes me emotional?
Yeah.
That is about being in tune with your emotions.
Yeah, but like if The Lord of the Rings makes you emotional, that's
It's
fine.
exactly that.
Great. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter that I fell asleep during 2 of the films when I went to the cinema. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be like one of those, like, do you ever get those videos on TikTok where it's like a debate? It's like 2 quite sad men having a debate over nothing serious, but they get really into the debate.
Instead, it's 2 really hot people talking about something that means
2
the
really
world to
fuckable
everyone.
people on the same sofa, and they get so angry. And they're really horned up because they keep thinking about the M&M people.
And they rip each other's clothes off, and then they're like, wait a minute, we're just friends and we respect our boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be something like that.
Bam.
What? So I assume you're a big fan of Lord of the Rings.
Love it.
Love it. Favourite character?
Oh, that's really hard.
Okay.
That's really hard.
Can't help but
actually.
feel like a true fan would have that answer ready.
Really?
I don't know. I don't care.
Everyone brings something. Do you know what? We were talking about this because me and Anna, who I live with, we just recently finished rewatching the 3 extended cut. So like 12 hours Lord of the Rings.
Oh, the extended editions.
Yeah, so like
God, yeah.
and we're just gonna work through it again because what else would you watch? And it's funny because like when you're younger, you all fancy like Legolas. You're like, Legolas is so hot. The elf.
Okay, yeah.
Like you work your way through, and then I was like, and then when you get a bit older, you're like Aragorn. Aragorn's really hot. Do you know any of these people?
No, I know Legolas. That's Orlando Bloom.
With a blonde wig on.
Yeah. And in one of the Hobbit films, he like walks over a bridge as it's falling through midair, and everyone was like, well, that can't.
Okay, so I will not give any time to the Hobbit films.
Fascinating. It's only the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, none of the Rings of Power. I've not watched them yet. The books, yes. Silmarillion.
Rings
Hobbit,
of Power is
yes.
the TV show.
Yeah, the books
Okay.
I'll give time to, Tolkien's works. But I watched the first Hobbit film and I just hated it. It just took all the magic from Lord of the Rings and just smashed it down for a money grab, I felt.
So is it just the films then, or do you read all of the books? But as
Books,
far as...
yes, but I was going to talk about films today.
Okay, we can talk
We
about
can
it all.
talk about the books as well.
I actually had it written down, books versus films. What do you prefer? But we'll come on to that. So you don't have a favourite character, but you have characters that made you horny at different times
Yes.
of your life.
Oh yeah, so as a young girl, I was like Legolas, the blonde elf,
Yeah.
Orlando Bloom. Get a bit older, and everyone fancies Aragorn and like opens the double doors and he's all sweaty.
Yeah.
When you watch him now, he's just like such a fuckboy because none of the other Fellowship have a romance with any women apart from like Sam and Rosie, and Aragorn's got like this whole like this elf is getting rid of her immortality for him. Well, he's sniffing around this other woman in Rohan, and he's always like, "Oh, did I mention that I'm actually the king? Like, did I mention I'm Isildur's heir? Did I mention that I'm actually going to be ruling Gondor?" Like, he's just a fuckboy.
Right.
He's not actually. You think he's good, and then you get a bit older, and you fancy Samwise Gamgee, the Hobbit.
Okay.
He is the one that him and Frodo are the two who go off in the very end together.
Yes, and he's maybe gay.
Well, that's the thing. Then you get older again and realise that he's either gay or he's just one of those boys who will never see women on the same level as men, and he's always going to prefer his friends over you.
Interesting.
It's not a healthy relationship. And then you can splinter off into the subgroups of like Boromir, who's dead, so you're, necrophilia. Or you can go to Gandalf, which is huge daddy issues. He's too old for you, okay? Because he's like thousands of years old.
And he died, didn't he? And then came back.
Yeah.
Because he was Gandalf the Grey and then he was Gandalf the White.
He researched.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's true. Which is also like, I think he looked nicer as grey.
I think he looked nicer as white.
More groomed? Did you prefer that?
I think he looks like he'd had leave-in Herbal Essences conditioner, and he'd like upgraded his staff.
That's an ad I want to see.
He's got like, yeah, you'd watch that, right? Yeah. I think I don't know. There was something cunty about Gandalf the White.
That's true. Also, it's really cunty because when he's in the Fangorn forest and he comes across Merry and Pippin when they all think he's dead, it's not even that. It's Merry Pippin, but it's when he comes across Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli in Fangorn forest because they're looking for Merry and Pippin.
Fangorn Forest.
And then they come across this wizard and they all think it's Saruman. And like Aragorn goes to fight him, and Aragorn's sword like gets too hot, and he drops it, and Legolas fires some arrows, and they just get like disjointed. I can't remember what happens to Gimli, but basically, for the longest period of time, Gandalf appears to them kind of like he's Saruman, which is really fucked up because they're all just like thinking he's going to kill them, and it's just Gandalf like, "Hey, Gandalf, I'm not dead."
Can I ask, what was all of this stuff that you just said? I had a very hard time following that. I was with you when you got to Gimli, and then you said the forest of somewhere, and then something about...
Do you know what? I can explain the whole trilogy really quickly.
No. Do you know what it is? I'm getting confused. I have seen the films. I read some of the first Hobbit and then got bored. That's on me. So I've seen the trilogy, not all of the extended ones. No, I have seen the extended ones. I fell asleep though. I know what happens. Like they get the ring back to the place, and then everyone's like, "Woo!" There's also like a really funny French and Saunders parody of Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god, I remember it so well when they just got children to play the Hobbits.
Where they got children to play the Hobbits, and then Dawn French is there, and they're all hiding behind a twig. Is that what you were talking about?
That's a different bit. That's
okay, but then the thing...
That's like before Weathertop.
The big cloaky thing comes in and is sniffing around, and Dawn goes like, "Everyone be quiet, he's sniffing my ring."
Yeah.
Because they loved a ring joke.
I love French. They did a great Titanic parody as well.
Yes, they did. That was their thing. They did so many film parodies.
So, basically, there's a bad ring that's owned by the biggest bad man in the world called Sauron, who's a total babe.
And that's the eye.
Yes, he's actually a big man, but at this point, without his ring, he's only a big eye.
Oh, okay. I think this is good. Explain Lord of the Rings to me like you would explain something to a child.
Yeah.
A slow
and I'll
child.
see if I can find a fun analogy for it.
Okay.
So the big bad man with the ring had the power to rule everything, but they cut his finger off or whatever, so he lost his ring and became a big eye, and he's back now in his place where he lives called Mordor. So orcs and goblins and all the nasty things come from Mordor.
And they're buried in the ground.
They can make new versions of them called Uruk-hai that they dig up from the ground. That's I know exactly what you're thinking of. It's very fucked up.
I remembered that because at school, in design technology, we had to make pencil cases and we could design them however we like. And my friend, who was also called Sam, made a pencil case and wrote that on it, Uruk-hai. And then
Uruk-hai
and then
popped up from the ground.
And then a supply teacher came over and said, "Is that your name?"
And then did he say, "No, my name's Sam"? And you're like, "Liar, my name's Sam," and get him into trouble.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I loved it.
Okay, so sorry. Yes.
Yeah, so
that's where all the orcs and the bad people are. Mordor's bad.
Mordor's bad.
Yeah.
And there's a big old volcano in it called
Mount Doom.
Yeah. It's talking so good at writing, devising new languages, naming everything, and they got to a volcano and he just ran into steam.
It's like when they were struggling to come up with names for women on James Bond. And you know the women would always have names like
Xena Onatopp.
Yeah.
She's a top.
I'm Betty Minge, you know? I work for the KGB.
I might tickle my phalange.
That's one of the Daniel Craig
I want
ones.
to be a Bond girl so badly.
I see that for you.
What would your name be?
If I was a Bond girl or a Bond nan, there'll be a gay James Bond at some point.
Gloria Hole.
Gloria Hole is great.
Thank you. And Dag just came up with that.
I
must have picked up from somewhere else because I can't think that fast.
My drag name, if I ever did drag, would be Honey Lingus.
Nice.
It's fun. Either that or Samantha Rivers. Instead of Sam Lake, it's Samantha Rivers.
Oh, yeah.
Because of my name.
Samantha Rivers. I get it. But then it's not so fun.
No, Honey Lingus is more fun, isn't it? Yeah. If I was a Bond girl...
would you be good or bad?
I'd be bad. I'd be really bad.
Like Eggs on. I love Eggs on a top. She's like genuinely my role model in life.
I'd be
the one who
morally...
crushes men with her thighs.
That is, again, cunty.
Yeah.
Very
amazing.
cunty.
So whenever I go to the gym, I text Sam whenever I do that.
Oh, you do?
Slut machine.
Yeah, the slut machine. Pull that lever. That's a one-arm bandit for you. I would be bad if I were a Bond girl, but I mean, I'd be morally good. I'd be bad at things. Like, I'd be like...
So you try and shoot the enemies, but you just shoot the lights out and everything get dark.
Like,
and then Bond would just have sex.
yeah. You hand me the gun,
That's
the clip
plot.
falls out of it right away.
You're like, oh no, my Chanel shoes.
Yeah, they get that.
Yeah.
I have to type the key code into the mainframe, but I can't do it because my titties are too big. Oh no! I'd be, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Lord of the Rings. So that Mordor's bad, Mount Doom's bad.
Yes.
And the ring,
Yes.
people keep finding the ring over time and it drives them insane.
Yes.
And then...
It's on a VHS. A little girl crawls out and kills them.
What? Oh,
It's another ring.
I thought you just said the format of VHS. We had to move to DVDs because VHS kept killing people.
I think that's the plot to the ring.
The Ring, yes. I thought it was The Grudge. No, it is The Ring, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Ring, you will die in 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything was good for the move to DVD, it was the fact that that little ghost girl will never be seen again.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be the same if it was a Blu-ray. No.
Like, where's the extras?
Just some director's commentary as she's coming out of the TV from herself. Being like, oh my God, I haven't washed my hair today. I thought, oh... And I just threw on like, I don't know, this beige nightie. I don't know. I thought it was kind of cute. I don't know. So the ring. So at the start of the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
The Frodo starts his mission to take the ring because he's come into possession of the ring from Bilbo.
Yeah.
Who is the Hobbit.
Yeah. They're all hobbits.
They're all hobbits. And he has to take the ring to Mount Doom and throw it in there because that's the only thing that can destroy the ring.
Yes. That's like all 3 films in one go. In fact, the Silmarillion, which is like a hefty book to read, describes the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy in one paragraph.
That would have been really handy. I'll be honest. That would have been really handy.
At the end of the Third Age, they found the One Ring and the Hobbit Frodo cast it upon the fires of Mount Doom and Sauron was defeated. But basically, to get a bit of a background, so Frodo, when he gets the ring from his uncle...
Uncle Bilbo.
And no one knows it's that ring. They don't know it's that dangerous.
They're just like, oh, is that from Claire's?
But then at one point, Gandalf's like, oh, I've learned it's that dangerous. And he's like, oh, quickly... get this ring to the elves who live not too far from here.
Okay.
And we'll decide what to do.
Right.
Gandalf goes to his pal for help, but his pal's gone bad. That's Saruman.
Saruman.
Yeah, Saruman. Who's played by Christopher Lee.
Wait, so is he not the big baddie?
No, Saruman is a bad wizard. Sauron is the big baddie. Okay. Again, a bit confusing.
A little
Tolkien
confusing.
Made up so many languages, and he's like Sauron and Saruman.
Again, it would be like if in James Bond there was a Dr. No and a Dr. Yes.
Yeah, or if it's like a Pokemon, like it's like Saruman evolves into it'd be Sauron evolve into Saruman and then become like Sakutek.
Yeah.
Just be a really big wizard with flash eyes.
One really big eye above the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Its move would be bubble beam.
Not splash. A bit of splash.
Did you ever successfully evolve a Magikarp?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah,
Babes.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if people are that patient. My friend's best Pokemon.
Yes.
He had a Weedle that he just never let evolve.
Oh.
He pressed B every time he tried to evolve into a Kakuna. Was this level 100 Weedle when its bee sting would kill just anyone? Its sting move.
That's cunty. It's in the category of cunt.
So
right.
These so the hobbits get to the old elves' house in Rivendell.
Get the ring to get. That's where the meme comes from.
No, that's Isengard. That's where Saruman lives. Okay, don't worry. I'll talk through it. Do you want me just to talk through it really fast so we can get into depth, or do you want to just work your way through the trilogy?
We actually
What do
don't
you
have
want to
that
do?
much time left. I think it took a really long time to explain to me the ins and outs of Lord of the Rings. What? Okay. What did I have written down? I literally just wrote down Frodo.
So basically, they get the ring to the elves' house, and they get a combination of people from all around Middle Earth: elves, dwarves, humans, hobbits, and the 9 of them decide to go as a team
That's the Fellowship.
to take the ring to the volcano.
Yeah.
And then 2 towers, they all get split up. So we have like branch off storylines where they're like, oh, they're all doing different things.
Oh, and Sean Bean is in the first one, but he dies.
He dies. Classic.
Yeah,
Classic.
because he always dies.
So they all like, the Fellowship's 8, but then in the second film, they're all like fractions off doing different things. And then in the third film, they're still kind of fraction off doing different things, but most of the Fellowship reunite in this big battle.
Yeah, there's a big battle.
Where all like the last of the people will the 2 hobbits finally get the ring in the volcano.
And that lady kills the big thing.
I am no man.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's exactly like that in the book, by the way.
I had lots of... Is it?
Yeah.
I had lots of friends who were just like, because of course they had to get like a woman to go and kill it.
That's exactly how it's written in the book.
They were acting like she was in the middle of a tampon commercial in the film. Like she slashed the guy and then was just like, and you'd never guess that I've got a Tampax pearl in right now.
To be honest, when you're on your period, you've got the most testosterone, so you're more likely to do like personal best and weightlifting and stuff.
Really?
Except when I'm on my period, I'm a mess, and I don't think women on their period should be allowed to drive. The number of cars I've just scratched.
That's going to be the
Mirrors,
clip,
like,
unfortunately. That's going to be the clip.
Well, I can say it. Bitches should not get behind wheels when they're bleeding.
And I'm giving you the space to make that statement, and I'm not saying anything. Not going to catch me, internet. Let's talk about how something like Lord of the Rings makes you feel. It's a big franchise. There's a lot of lore to it. Lots of characters, lots of backstory. Languages. So there's lots going on. Why do you think it's something like this that gets you emotional? Is it a nostalgia thing? Is it that you get really into the story?
Yeah, I love anything of a long, arduous journey.
Do you? You like a...
Oh, God, yeah.
And like a fantasy...
Fantasy, yes. Like other creatures, monsters.
Discworld?
Yes, I like Discworld.
Yeah.
But I've read quite a few of them, but not all of them, actually. But I just love this one. And I think, pardon me, this one's like got ties in my family as well. So my auntie used to write with Tolkien. They're like pen pals.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And then, because Tolkien was really into Nordic studies, my auntie was like a professor of Nordic studies.
Oh, okay.
And I think as well with Lord of the Rings, it goes to all this like Norse mythology and talk and lore of that.
Yeah.
And I just blew me away. Also, I just really fancied Orlando Bloom when I was younger. So I was
Fair.
like, this is how I latch on.
It was interesting what you were saying about getting older and then fancying different characters and seeing them in different lights, because I think I was like that with the Gladiators.
Oh my God, and they're back again.
They're back again. I don't fancy any of the Gladiators
neither do I.
now.
I'm like, who are these children?
I know, but back in the day...
Roided up children.
No, they're natty. They're all natty.
They are not.
No.
Have you seen the one, like, you can't... I had this argument the other day. I was watching this with Anna and Elliot, and I was like, you cannot put muscles on here
There's one...
naturally.
No, it's the muscles that come here.
These ones.
And there's this one who, like, he, like, does his little thing to the camera, and he, like, does a thing with his shoulder, and then he, like, leans it, and he has wings.
Yes, I know the one you mean.
He's a panty liner with wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone's like, yeah,
Yeah.
he is. And I was
Yeah.
like, how do you get a muscle there? Like, what do you exercise? Because I think it's that one. I'm so sure you can't, because you can get these naturally really big from...
What do you... Your neck?
These muscles can get bigger from lifting weights and stuff.
Oh, yes, the
Are
ones
these
that
your
go from your
traps?
shoulder to your neck. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
But the muscles just here, you really can't make them pop up naturally.
It's difficult.
Is what I believe.
I used to really fancy Jet.
Jet was, yeah, gorgeous.
It's really hot. And then when I went back and watched the older episodes again, I realised that the person who I actually fancy is the referee.
who I miss his voice dearly in the new series.
I would say the new referee is doing a good job.
Are you ready? It's the only Scottish representation we had back in the day.
Yeah, I guess so. God, that must have been rough.
Ready.
There's several Scottish ones now.
There's several Scottish people.
Yeah.
Been breeding.
Huge population growth. How often would you say you go back and watch Lord of the Rings or read the books?
I don't know, because I'm currently doing a thing where I'm... what's that website? A Threads website? Do you use Threads?
Like Instagram's version of Twitter?
Yeah.
No.
I only use it to second by second describe every single thing that happens in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
It's taken me a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I'll go back and watch it regularly. It feels like a lot like my childhood. It feels like a lot like magical. And also, I think it's good for this podcast because it is the best representation of men and male characters being in touch with their feelings. They cry all the time. They hug all the time. They talk about their feelings, their fears, their hopes and dreams.
They do, actually.
And they sing all the time. Well, in the book, they sing all the time. But then in the films, they took out all the songs but Aragorn's song when he's crowned king. So it just makes Aragorn seem really weird that he just sings for himself when he becomes king. It's like, everyone's like, what's he going to say? And he just starts singing. And I was like... This is not nice.
I don't trust people who sing spontaneously.
No, but in the books, it's part of the culture. So, like, they all sing for Boromir when they send him off at his funeral. Tom Bombadil, I don't like him, he sings. Like, there's so many songs.
Who? Tom Bombadil.
Don't worry about him.
I won't. I'll forget his name as soon as we're done here.
Good, because I'm glad he's not in the films. I didn't like him in the books. I'm glad he wasn't in the films. He's a weird character who sings to the trees and they do what he says. And the theory is like he's one of the ancient ones of the world, but he seems just like he just is like a army farmer kind of farmer man.
Oh, okay. The
maybe makes his own scrumpy and just I don't know how to describe him. He seems like just such a regular bloke, and then they're like he's one of the ancient ones of this world, and like I don't like it. So I don't like Tom,
but he's not in the films.
No.
So do you like how the films were translated from the books?
Yes.
You think it was a faithful...
I think it was really faithful. There's moments when it almost wasn't faithful. I've watched like all the background and making of and read all the books about it, and there's moments when it almost like veered off quite wildly and they pulled it back in again. I was sad that there weren't more songs, but I think I'm the only person that feels like that. There's moments as well, they put Arwen in a lot more than she should have been in.
Arwen is... She's there.
Yeah.
And she's on a horse.
She's Liv Tyler, Steve Tyler's daughter.
Yeah. And she's like, she gets on the horse. She's like, I'm so good at riding horses. And then she like goes over like a river.
Yeah. She says,
and then and then the river comes and then it drowns all the thing.
Come and claim him.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but basically in the books, Frodo does that himself. And a passing elf is like, the hobbit's in trouble and calls the river to come along.
Interesting.
So that was like a real injection of a lot more feminine energy, which to be honest, I was okay with, because you really don't get any like strong feminine energy until you get to.
Well, you don't. I
am no man.
You don't think women should drive on their period,
but
so I can only imagine.
In Middle Earth.
I don't think you should. Do you think women should be allowed to ride a horse on their period?
What are you trying to say, Sam?
Just trying to
say women aren't allowed to ride horses when they're on their period?
Oh, okay. So if it's about cars, I can't even ask a question.
Surely the horse steers for you. The horse is going to walk into a wall. That's natural selection.
What is a car if not a mechanical horse? Sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh, so there's lots going on then.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for this podcast. I watched all of those. They're so good. I feel like I've ruined it.
If you would like to cry, we do enjoy that. Would you like it when people cry on camera?
Do you get emotional? I grate every time I watch Lord of the Rings.
You what?
I cry. Grate is a Shetland word for cry.
I thought, okay.
I was so sorry for this. So I There's moments I cry through that film.
Are there
every time.
particular moments?
Yes.
Like,
The first time I cry when I watch it, it's not even sad. The first time I cry is when Frodo gets to Rivendell with the ring.
yeah.
So I forgot to breathe. I think the milkshake's coated my airways and I'm dying. Frodo gets to Rivendell with the ring.
Yeah.
And they're going to have the council. And he goes to meet Bilbo, who's aged rapidly because he doesn't have the powers of the ring keeping him young anymore.
Oh, does the ring keep you young?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why Bilbo gets to his 111th birthday looking so fine. And then when he's in Rivendell, him and Frodo are talking, and Bilbo doesn't know yet how dangerous the ring is. He just remembers he left his ring with Frodo, his nephew.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, can I see the ring? And Frodo kind of hold it. But Frodo's scared to give it to his uncle because he now knows it's dangerous.
Right.
And Bilbo's like, let me have it. Let me have it. And Bilbo goes, give it to me. And he like, for a moment, his like whole face contorts, like kind of like Gollum-esque, like he's being overcome by the powers of the ring. It's all like evil and twisted. Then he gets a shock at how he shouted at his nephew and he cries. And that's when I cry.
That's quite...
Because and that's when you're like, fuck, if the ring's fucked Bilbo up that much and he's not even been using it, it's just been a box in his house, what? Frodo's about to go through a really rough year.
It's a rough old ride for Frodo.
They're away for ages. It's like a year it takes them to get there and back again.
And all they had was that bread.
Lambus bread.
Yeah.
One mouthful could fill a man for a meal.
When they're up
Had 3 for
in the
breakfast.
mountains somewhere and Sam's just going like, oh, we got bread and we got bread and we've got some more bread and oh, look at that, we've got some bread.
Yeah.
That was great. That was a great scene.
I just think it's... have you ever seen a film when men just cry so often and hug each other and kiss each other's heads?
I mean, I have. But it's, I think, different to what you're thinking.
I just think they're just crying and talking about death the whole time.
So
they're like, when Sam's trying to help Frodo up the edge of Mount Doom, he's like, think of the Shire, Frodo. Think of the strawberries in bloom. And Frodo's like, I can't recall the taste of food, Sam. But then when they finally destroy the ring, but Sam's like, we die now because we're never going to get away from here. But Frodo's like, I remember the taste of strawberry, Sam. And it's like this beautiful exchange.
I was going to ask,
carrying.
It was so hard for them to get to Mount Doom.
Yeah.
How did they get back? Is there an escalator? Is there a shuttle bus?
So that in the world of Middle Earth, there's a species of eagles that are so big they can just carry you wherever you want to go. So... I know. Yeah, are you seeing the plot hole that everyone's seen?
I feel like Gandalf could have just maybe,
He's a friend of eagles.
I feel like he could have maybe just delivered the ring to Mount Doom.
So this is a theory that gets a lot of people confused when they're in the Mines of Moria and they're at the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, which is where the sexy big fire demon comes in, the Balrog. Do you remember him with a whip?
If you say so.
Do you remember the big Balrog when he's got a big whip and he's like... Fitch.
No.
And then him and Gandalf, you shall not pass.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the Balrog destroys the bridge.
Yeah.
He goes down. Gandalf is holding on, and Gandalf says, "Fly, you fools!" And I've heard people like that's him saying, "Go get the raven, the crows, the eagles."
What? So is the theory that Gandalf tried to tell them like, hey?
Well, I was like, why didn't you do that before you went to Moria? Or maybe they're on the other side, but then they've already helped him when he was at.
Can the eagles wear jewellery?
What do you mean? Could an eagle have just taken the ring by itself?
Well, because the ring, if you wear the ring, it does stuff to you.
You go invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, it also drives you insane.
Well, just bearing the ring drives you insane.
Yeah. So what if the eagle went insane when it got close to Mount Doom?
I mean, like a normal.
And then
eagle.
they didn't have the ring anymore.
Eagles are insane. That's a good point, actually. But then they could have just carried Frodo carrying the ring.
Oh yeah. And he could have just taken a few snacks and a book.
Yeah. Some lambus bread.
So it sounds like watching Lord of the Rings or reading Lord of the Rings, you enjoy it because it has great examples of all different types of men showing feelings and emotions.
Oh yeah, and when you get to a healthy state of self-love, then you're attracted to Pippin and Mary. That's what we've come up with.
You try to do what?
Pippin and Mary are two hobbits.
Yeah, they're the other hobbits, and they're always like.
And I feel like if you're in a emotionally sound state of mind, you're most attracted to those two.
And is one of those ones the ones that went on to do Lost?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Mary, and Pippin was the Scottish actor who went on to some like gangster films to try and shake off his adorable hobbit exterior. And now they just do a podcast together where they talk about Lord of the Rings all the time.
Which is essentially what we're doing.
I feel like I've just... Yeah. But yeah. And it's a nice story. I also think I connect with it because like Rohan is like the Nordic people, and there's so many times when they have speeches, and all those speeches.
So you connect to the characters on a personal level as well.
Yeah, when they're like, ride out of Rohan.
And the thing about you is you're always writing. I've heard that.
Not a horse, Jesus.
Or a car. Look out, everyone.
I'm bleeding all the time. I can't get behind a wheel. That's what my new show's about.
Oh, well, I feel like that's great.
I feel like I'm taking a topic that you're like, I have no interest in this. Not only that, I only told you about it like an hour ago. I'm going to do Lord of the Rings. And you must be like,
the thing is like, have you ever been in a situation at a party where people are having a conversation about something and you're like, oh, I've heard about that thing, I can join in. And then when you join in, you're like, I don't know what any of these people are saying. It was when you started saying something about the forest of...
Fangorn Forest. What madness drove them in there?
And then I was like, oh, she's really into telling the story of what happened.
I mean, if
and
I
I don't
could
understand anything that's happening.
The moment of television that opened me up the most emotionally.
Was it to do with Lord of the Rings?
It's when... No, it's when Ash Ketchum frees Butterfree.
Oh...
Like I can't think about it for too long because I get really sad.
Yeah.
Also, I'm like, God damn it, Ash! You're meant to catch all 150 to be a master. You're so shit at this.
Well, no, because he wanted to win the league.
Oh, well,
which he did eventually.
I took the wrong message from that show.
He won the league in Alola.
Yeah.
And then I think he won. They did like a Champion of Champions tournament. Mm-hmm. I think he won that as well.
And is that when they retired Ash as a character?
Yeah, he's not in it anymore. Were you sad when any characters in Lord of the Rings were not there in it?
Oh my God, Boromir's death breaks me.
Which one is he again?
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean. Oh.
He takes like, is it, oh shit, I should know this. I think he takes 3 arrows to the chest and kills 4 more orcs before he actually goes down.
Oh, he was fighting off orcs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's protecting,
I for some reason thought he wanted to do like a shifty deal.
He wanted the ring because he thought the humans would be able to wield the power of the ring. So he tries to take the ring off Frodo. So he's corrupted by it himself. Just from seeing it, he wants it.
Yeah.
And at the last moment, he realizes what was happening to him. So with his last dying moments, he fights off all enemies, knowing that he's going to be outnumbered and he's going to be killed. But if he can just slow them down enough,
then they
Frodo's
can
got
get
a chance to
away.
escape. So then he does that, and then Aragorn finds him dying, and he calls Aragorn his king. And you think they're going to like bag off because they get so intense, and then they kiss each other's heads. Aragorn kisses his dead
I think
head.
this is what we should wrap up with. So much homoerotic subcontext.
Do you know, and Sean Bean is tough as fuck. Have you ever heard about the time he was in a pub drinking one time and a guy stabbed him? Oh, there's a fight in a pub in England. Sean Bean went out, he dealt with a guy, got stabbed in the fight, beat the guy up, then Sean Bean went back in the pub and he said, "Can I have another pint in your first aid kit, please?" Patched himself up and just kept drinking, and everyone's like, "Go to the hospital, Sean Bean."
Wow. What a man. I got punched in an M&M world.
Did you actually?
No.
Oh, I was like, did you want to just bring up your trauma? Is that why you keep bringing up M&M world? You're like, I need to talk about this.
I've been once and it was fine.
Was it okay?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of floor space for one product, and I don't like this.
Well, yeah, there's different types of M&Ms.
What? Chocolate or peanut?
Pretzel, peanut butter, crispy,
That's why I don't
brownie,
like... Okay.
brittle,
Like
peanut brittle.
In the M&M.
Yeah.
In a small M&M, you can get a brownie.
Not like a full-size brownie.
What are they?
Like a little tiny chunk of brownie.
So when I was a little girl, my brother told me, because he had some fruit pastels and I wanted one. And he's like, do you know how to eat them, Marjolein? Because I was like 4 or 5 and I was like, yeah. He's like, do you though? I was like, yeah. And he's like, look. He's like, there's so much sugar in a fruit pastel that if you were to cut it open with a knife, the sugar would burst out of it and it would fill my bedroom, right? That's how much sugar is compacted in it. If you don't eat it right and you burst it too quickly in your mouth, the sugar will burst out into your mouth and it will crush you from the inside, smashing your like skull and brains. Your eyes will come out your face. Like, you'll be just exploded by sugar. He's like, are you sure you know how to eat fruit pastel right? And I was like, no. And I didn't eat fruit pastels until I was like a teenager because I was so afraid of...
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
I can't believe I believed that. I did.
For a long time, by the sounds of it.
I think it was just like, even when I was like, that can't be possible, I was still just like, they freaked me out.
If we gave you a fruit pastel.
I wouldn't want it.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I was a bit weird about peanut butter.
Why?
Because one time somebody made me peanut butter on toast, but the knife that they used, they'd also used to chop an onion. So I took a big bite into some peanut butter on toast and there was a huge wedge of onion on it. And I was like...
Such a shame.
Yeah. It's time for the last part of the show.
Okay. I didn't want this to end.
I mean, Lord of the Rings are very long.
I don't know.
We could do an episode on each.
But I meant to talk about my actual feelings about things. You
Well,
should
no,
have got me
you said
3 days
some
ago when I
of
was on my
them.
period, but I was like, well, stop my
How would you have got here? You'd have to use...
Ambulance. 999, taxi, please. I'm bleeding.
It's an emergency. I'm bleeding everywhere.
Where do you need to go? Well, it's kind of like, it's close to the Hive. That's exactly what I told the taxi driver today. Take me to the Hive and I'll find it from there. He's like, what?
Huh?
2 in the afternoon.
The last bit is quickfire feelings. I have random topics.
Okay.
And you just say how you feel about them.
Okay.
Whatever first comes into your heart and soul.
Okay.
Okay. How do you feel about dark chocolate?
I like it.
Interesting.
We have it
Okay.
after dinner. Me, Mum and Dad will have a couple squares of it as a way of having a treat without eating too much. But then it kind of makes me sad because I'll always buy like the cheapest dark chocolate from like the cooking section of the supermarket to save money. So every time they have a birthday or something, I send them lots of nice dark chocolate and they're like, we so much preferred that dark chocolate, Marjolein. It was so nice. But they'll never buy it for themselves.
Wow. Hate it.
I'm going to send them some dark chocolate after this podcast.
Oh, that's nice. Sentimental.
Why would they not buy it for themselves?
They like what they like.
Yeah.
Can't help it. How do you feel about karaoke?
I like it, but I can't sing. But sometimes I think that's good because I think if I was a good singer, I'd be just the most obnoxious person ever. Because I'd be like, listen to me.
I would always do that thing where I'd go up and be like, oh, no, I've not got much of a voice, you guys. This is so embarrassing. And then when I start singing, I'll do that face where I'm like, oh my God, I'm really good at singing.
Also, karaoke makes me sad.
Why?
Because I often want to sing a song and everyone sings songs and everyone like dances and sings along. And I'm like, I want to sing the song I like. And I sat and people are like, what is this?
What is the song?
Just many different songs. Like the songs I go to, then people just don't really go with it.
But is there one that they don't go along with?
Well, it's like I did Living for the City and like hardly anyone knew it.
Okay.
And I was like, I thought we all knew Stevie Wonder. And then, but also the song that I enjoy to do that just clears out a room and everyone just fucks off is La Vie Boheme from Rent.
What? How does that one go?
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here to say our goodbyes.
Oh, is that
There
after
she
somebody died of
lies.
AIDS?
No, it's after they killed the dog.
Oh. Okay.
La Vie Boheme. You know the song? From riding
I
your
wonder
bike
why people
with
don't
day
want to
past
sing
the
along.
three-piece suits, to fruits, to no absolutes, to absolute, to choice, to the village voice, to any passing pad. Okay.
Are we allowed to sing songs? Yeah, okay, fine.
This is one of my obnoxious. I sang so much and I can't even sing. To be enough for
Imagine if we have to beep all of this out.
La viva. People hate it.
Yeah, I want to leave.
It's honestly, every time I've done La Viva on my karaoke, it's like been the end of the night. Even if there was meant to be more karaoke.
I'm surprised it's on the machine, to be honest.
So am I.
Nah. How do you feel about Sex and the City?
Oh, okay, so I like it, but then I keep looking into bits now and then. I'm like, wow, that's really problematic and really kink-shamey and really homophobic and really that was assault. Like, there's so many periods when I look back and I'm like, this is messed up.
The one where she's just like, I don't believe bisexuals are real.
Yeah.
The trans sex workers outside Samantha's house in the meatpacking district.
Oh, yeah.
All very weird.
Yeah, it's actually it's probably aged so badly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on any streaming platform right now for anyone to pick up on it.
Now TV.
Okay, well, I know what I'm watching tonight after I finish Return as a King.
How do you feel about bagpipes?
Oh, I really like them.
Yeah.
So because I used to play the military tattoo.
Uh-huh.
Before I was a comedian, I used to go and play fiddle in the tattoo. As a civilian, I was in the army. Wouldn't be allowed. And and I used to always think about it because if you've ever seen the military tattoo in the finale of the show, and all the cast members, 900 people are out there on the area, like from all the different parts of the world and all the different bands and military groups and whatnot. Then there's a bit when all goes quiet and a lone piper plays up on the castle by themselves. No amplification, just playing the pipes. And it always makes me think of the stories I'd hear from like World War I and World War II, when soldiers would just be walking out to fight. And especially like some of the fights in the deserts when they were basically going out to die. But all there would be there for them was just the pipes drifting over the sand. It was like this one last piece of home.
You love anything that reminds you of war, death of dogs or loved ones, men crying. I'm seeing a pattern.
But then on the other hand, when I played the military tattoo in Australia, I went to go get cups of tea for some of the cast members. So I was walking back with like 3 cups of tea. And I was like, we're in this huge rugby stadium. It's massive. Like the crowd was 35,000 people. It's insane. And that wasn't the only part of the stadium because they built a 1-for-1 scale of Edinburgh Castle in the stadium that we would all be in during the performance.
Oh, wow.
Huge. So I was walking around the stadium to go to the tea tent. And then I was like going through all these guys in tartan and didn't think much about carrying my 3 cups of tea. And what I hadn't realised was I suddenly walked into a clearing from the men, and I was standing in between all the pipers just as they went to tune their pipes. And all of them were ear defenders because it's so noisy. Yeah. Because they all stand in one massive, massive circle. And I stand in the clearing and they all went at the same time. And it was so painful that I didn't drop my tea.
Good on you.
But it's terrible because I couldn't really hear. And I was the person with the earpiece in my 6 of fiddle players that they had to follow what I was doing. And that night I was like, I can't hear nothing today. Like,
you were like deafened.
It was horrible.
Wow. But you love them.
I think there's something nice about the pipes. And as a Shetlander, we have no connection to bagpipes. It's not a Shetland thing.
Uh-huh.
But I still think there's something really solemn about the pipes just like drifting over the waves.
Okay.
Sorry, is that too long an answer? Were these meant to be quick answers?
No, it's very beautiful.
Okay.
The last thing is, how do you feel when an American tourist comes to Edinburgh or any part of Scotland and says, oh my God, I have Scottish heritage?
We get this a lot in Shetland. And we have lots of family from around the world, like New Zealand and Australia and Canada and America and Bristol. And
yeah,
everywhere. So I used to be like, yeah, what? But then it depends. It upsets me when people think that they're Scottish because they have Scottish ancestry. Yeah, and I've seen this online. It sounds like a sad thing to even bring up. But these people are like, I'm Scottish because my great-great-great-great-granddad was Scottish. And I'm like, well, anyone who moves and chooses to make Scotland their home, to me, is Scottish.
Yeah.
You've got Scottish ancestry, yes, I don't deny that. And for sure, if there's things you want to learn about your heritage and your family and traditions, do it. That's lovely. In fact, even if you've got absolutely no Scottish connection and you want to play bagpipes or do Highland dancing, do it. That's lovely. That's great. Share the culture. Learn Shetland fiddle. Do it. But I've seen people online who've been like that. Obviously not everyone, but some people online have been that way inclined when they say they're Scottish. And then they have a problem with other people who live in Scotland being Scottish. Sorry, it's a sad thing to bring up, but it's just like the thing is like I think Scottishness is like a choice to live here.
Yeah.
And be Scottish. I think it's nice. It's a what's it called? It's not an ethnicity, it's a nationality. So I think if you choose to make it your home, you're Scottish.
Interesting.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. Very eloquent.
But we used to get asked questions by Americans all the time. I remember they would come when we were shearing sheep, and we'd be like, what are the sheep in the crate in the pen? So we'd be like cutting the wool off, and they'd be like, does your dog know the difference between boy and girl sheep?
They think they... Oh.
And
I
we'd
thought you were about to say they thought the sheep was a dog.
No, they would just ask the weirdest questions. In America, we asked an American person to take our picture of us as a family.
Yeah.
And they're like, where are you from? Where's your accent from? And we're like, oh, well, we're from Shetland, which is a small island off of Scotland. And they're like, huh, where? And we're like, oh, no, sorry, we're from Scotland. And they're like, where? And we're like, Scotland. Part of the United Kingdom. They're like, what? We're like, Great Britain? Like, what? We're like, in Europe? They're like, We're like, we're just north of England. And they're like, oh my God, you're Scotland. That lake in England with the monster.
There's a lot wrong with that.
And there's a family photo of all 5 of us in San Francisco like this. There was no joy left in our bodies.
And on that...
That's why I decided to learn all 50 states so that I could make fun of America and not be a hypocrite.
Oh, okay.
So I can tell you where all the states are.
That's a good skill.
Yeah. Hawaii's in the sea. Well, it's pronounced Hawaii and it shouldn't be a state. It should be its own place. It should be its own country. Sorry, that's not funny.
I know that because of Nicole Scherzinger.
Really? Oh, she's from Hawaii? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's part Ukrainian as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She's got
I
a lot
want to hear
going
more
for
of
her.
her views. I know she's got some really interesting views. And no one ever does that because they're just like, just sing for us, Nicole. Sing and dance.
Yeah. Just sing, dance. She was in Rent.
Did she play Mimi?
She was one of the lesbians.
Oh, I bet you she was the diva one.
Yeah, the one
one.
who's like up on the table wearing like leather and
Take me, honey.
being like, every time I leave the house, people try to like fuck me. Well, I don't know the lyrics.
Guess
but
I'll be leaving then.
yeah, I'm gone.
Door slam. Car driving. Stop. You're bleeding.
Stop.
Get a taxi.
Well,
111.
I think we've covered a lot today.
Have we?
I've learnt a lot about Lord of the Rings and women and what they should and shouldn't be allowed to do.
Will I ever be allowed on this podcast again?
Yeah, probably.
I'll wear even less clothes like you asked me to. I didn't want to wear shorts. I was like, I never wear shorts. And Sam was like, if you don't get your knees out, you're not getting on.
There they are, fellas.
Thank you for having me, and I'm sorry.
What? Sorry for...
Well, like, I realised that when I start saying something, I have to finish. And I realised that when I just said Frodo had to go to the elf place for the ring, and I was like, now I have to describe the whole trilogy, but if I don't, I'm going to be like, this is very stressful, and I need to say what happens next.
I think we will have as many people who've seen Lord of the Rings as haven't. And so there's something for everyone there.
I just feel like I've come onto a nice podcast you're trying to, like, share with people, and I've just smashed into the ground.
No, don't be silly.
Harder.
No, you've made it weird. Before we let you go, anything you'd like to plug?
Still, is this going? Okay. When is this coming out?
Great question. In a few weeks.
I'll just plug the Fringe show because I don't know where I'll be with the tour. It might be over by then. I hope it is. So I am doing a Fringe show. Wait, I don't know if my Fringe show will be on sale though.
Is she allowed to say it?
We don't know.
Yeah, go for it. And we can just edit it out if you help.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So, yes, so I am in the Monkey Barrel for the Fringe. The Monkey Barrel Friends. I'm in Hive 1 every day at 5:40. I have a day off, but I forgot when that is. It doesn't matter. And 5:40, and it's a show called Oh.
Oh.
Also, if they can't plug that, I'll say this instead. I have an Instagram page.
Great. Where can people find that?
It's on the internet.
What is the tag? What's the handle?
Instagram.
No, what is your...
My name. Oh, Marjolein. So use one of those ats that you see halfway through an email address, but then write my name, Marjolein Robertson. Start spelling it Marj, and if it doesn't pop up by then, you're never going to have me in your inner circle anyway.
No. It could be Dutch.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Those guys.
Go to Marjolein Show. Go follow them on Instagram.
Support Sam.
Support me. I'll also shall I just plug my show as well? I'm doing a show called Esmeralda. It's also at Monkey Barrel and MB2 every day at 1:30. Not on the 12th though. If you come on the 12th, nothing's going to be happening. There will be a show, but it won't be mine.
Plasma.
You can follow the podcast at I've Had a Rosé on all platforms. There's clips and little things to go and have a look at. I think that's everything.
Imagine I'd been drinking alcohol in this.
This would have been an absolute disaster. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for listening and watching.